I exposed the ONE word Papoose can't say about Remy Ma, and it changes everything. Stop. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Put your phone down. Pick it back up. Turn the volume all the way up. Because what I am about to show you is something that the entire internet missed. Every blog, every podcast, every reaction channel, they all missed it. And honestly, I almost missed it too. But once you see it, once you hear it, you will never look at this situation the same way again. So Papoose, the man who spent 20 years married to one of the most dangerous female rappers to ever touch a microphone, sat down for an interview. Casual, relaxed, off the cuff. No script, no teleprompter. Just him, a camera, and a question about Remy Ma. Simple, right? Should be easy. He has been talking about this woman for 2 decades. Her name should roll off his tongue like water. But watch, what happened to this man the second he had to describe who Remy Ma is to him now? He said, and I need you to listen to every single syllable. He said, the back and forth that I had, you know what I mean, with my past relationship. Past relationship. Not ex-wife. Not former spouse. Not the woman I am divorcing. Not even her name. He called 20 years of marriage, 2 children, countless albums, prison visits, loyalty through federal sentences, public declarations of love on national television. He called all of that a past relationship. Like she was somebody he took to prom in 1997. Like she was a situationship from MySpace. Like she was just some girl he used to know. And here is the part that is going to blow your mind. That was not a mistake. That was not a slip of the tongue. That was not poor word choice from a man under pressure. That was a tell. A psychological, subconscious, deeply revealing tell. And by the time I am done breaking this down for you today, piece by piece, receipt by receipt, layer by layer, you are going to understand exactly why that one fumbled sentence just exposed the biggest lie in hip-hop right now. Because Remy Ma and Papoose, they are not done. And I have got the evidence to prove it. All of it. Now I know, some of you just rolled your eyes. Some of you are already reaching for that comment section, fingers loaded, ready to type girl, they filed for divorce, it is over, move on. And I hear you. I do. But I need you to do me one favor before you type a single word. I need you to stay. Just stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what I am about to lay out is not opinion. It is not wishful thinking. It is not some delusional fantasy about black love. It is a pattern. Exposed, documented, exposed in real-time pattern of behavior that tells a story neither one of them wants you to know. And that story, it starts with a word he could not say. Let me set the stage properly because context is everything and most people covering this story are giving you crumbs when there is an entire feast sitting on the table. Papoose filed for divorce from Remy Ma on May 22nd, 2025. He posted screenshots. He made it official. He claimed, publicly on the internet, for the entire world to see, that Remy had cheated on him numerous times. He put her business out there. Names. Allegations. The whole thing. It was nuclear. It was the kind of public implosion that ends marriages, ends friendships, ends entire legacies. And Remy? Oh, Remy did not sit quietly. Not even for a second. She came back swinging. She said she had been asking this man to leave, quietly, for years. She accused him of having a gambling problem. She accused him of trying to press her for money to agree to a smooth divorce. And then she dropped the bomb that shook the internet to its core. She said Papoose would do anything, to keep the black love image. The image that SHE allegedly helped build for him. The image that made them America's hip-hop sweethearts. The image that got them reality shows and magazine covers and brand deals and all the rest of it. She said that entire image. It was a lie. A beautiful, carefully constructed, mutually beneficial lie. Now, here is where every other channel stops. Here is where every other blogger wraps it up, throws in a what do you think, and calls it a day. But not me. Because I see what they do not see. I see what they refuse to see. And what I see is this: if this marriage was truly dead, if these two people genuinely wanted nothing to do with each other, if the love was gone and the bond was broken and the papers were just a formality waiting to be stamped, then why, as of early 2026, over a year after this entire thing exploded publicly, are Remy Ma and Papoose still not officially divorced? Over a year. Exposed. Think about that. Over 12 months. Exposed. Courts exist. Lawyers exist. Judges exist. If one party wants out and the other party is dragging their feet, there are legal mechanisms to force it through. This is not 1952. You do not need your husband's permission to leave a marriage. So what is holding this up? And do not tell me it is complicated. Do not tell me these things take time. I have watched people divorce in 90 days. I have watched people divorce in 60 days. When both parties genuinely want out, the system moves. It moves fast. So when the system is not moving, when a year passes and you are still legally married to a person you supposedly cannot stand, That tells me something. That tells me a lot of something. And it should tell you something too. But let us go deeper. Because that interview, the one where Papoose could not say ex-wife, that was just the appetizer. The main course is what he said on the Breakfast Club. And loves, this is where the mask slipped completely off. So Papoose goes on the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne Tha God is sitting right there. You know Charlemagne is going to press. That is what he does. That is his whole brand. And sure enough, the questions about Remy come up. And Papoose, listen to me carefully. Papoose does something that no man who is truly done with a woman would ever do. He protects her. He said, and this is a direct quote from the interview, it was corny. It is always corny to do social media. Who wants that? Who wants to be a part of that? Who wants to be a part of the circus? He was talking about the public back and forth. The Instagram war. The screenshots. The allegations. He called all of it corny. He took himself out of the drama. He distanced himself from the mess. And then, he said the words that made me pause this video and stare at my screen for a solid 30 seconds. I wish her the best. I got nothing bad to say about her. Let me make that clear. Nothing bad to say. Let me make that clear. About the woman who aired out his entire life on social media. About the woman who accused him of gambling away their money. About the woman who told the world he was manipulative and image-obsessed. About the woman who, according to his OWN allegations, cheated on him multiple times. And his response, his carefully chosen, deliberately stated, look me in my eyes response, is I got nothing bad to say about her. Now I want you to think about this for a second. Think about the last person who broke your heart. Think about the last person who embarrassed you publicly. Think about the last person who put your deepest, darkest secrets on the internet for millions of strangers to pick apart. Would your response be, I got nothing bad to say about them? Would you go on national radio and defend their honor? Would you look Charlemagne the God in his face and say, let me make that clear, like you were drawing a line in the sand? No, you would not. And the reason you would not is because when love is truly gone, when the bond is truly severed, there is no instinct to protect. There is no reflex to shield. You do not care what people say about your ex because they are your ex. They are in your past. Their reputation is their problem now. But Papoose? Papoose is still standing guard. He is still at the gate. He is still playing defense for a woman he supposedly wants nothing to do with. And if that does not tell you everything you need to know, then I genuinely do not know what will. And it gets even more revealing, because then Charlemagne asked the question. The question. The one that every single person in the hip-hop community has whispered about for years, but nobody has had the guts to ask on camera. He asked Papoose, point blank, no sugarcoating, no cushion, did you really write 90% of Remy Ma's raps? Now, pause. Let us understand the weight of this question. If Papoose says yes, if he confirms that he ghostwrote the majority of Remy Ma's catalog, he does not just embarrass her. He does not just humiliate her. He effectively ENDS her. In hip-hop, authenticity is currency. Your pen is your identity. If it comes out from the horse's mouth, from the man who was literally in the studio with her every single day, that Remy Ma did not write her own bars, her legacy is finished. The credibility she built, the battles she won, Shether, all of it, gone, evaporated, reduced to an asterisk and a footnote. Papoose had a nuclear weapon in his hands. All he had to do was press the button. One word. One single word. Yes. That is all it would have taken. And what did he say? No comment. No comment. That man looked at the button. He looked at the destruction it would cause. He looked at the woman it would destroy. And he put his hands behind his back and walked away. He chose silence. He chose protection. He chose her, even when the world was giving him every reason not to. And y'all want to tell me this man is done with Remy Ma? Y'all want to tell me that love is dead? That the marriage is over? That he has moved on? Baby, that man just shielded his wife from a career-ending question on one of the biggest platforms in media. That is not ex-husband behavior. That is husband behavior. Period. Now let me show you the pattern, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And this pattern goes back to the very beginning of the public fallout. December 2024. That is when the dam broke. Remy Ma went live on Instagram, and it was chaos. She exposed Claressa Shields. She called Papoose out. She put names, dates, allegations, everything out there for the world to consume. And Papoose initially fired back. He posted photos. He made counter-allegations. He said things that could not be unsaid. It was ugly. It was raw. It was the kind of public destruction that makes tabloids salivate and divorce lawyers reach for their briefcases. TMZ covered it. The Shade Room covered it. Tasha K covered it. Every blog, every podcast, every reaction channel on YouTube had their cameras rolling. It was the biggest hip-hop relationship implosion of the year. And everyone was eating. And then something strange happened. Something that nobody talks about, because it does not fit the narrative that the internet wants to believe. Both of them stopped. Not one of them. Both of them. simultaneously, like somebody flipped a switch, like somebody made a phone call. Like two people who know each other better than anyone else on this planet looked at the destruction they were causing and said, together, silently, without a press release or a joint statement, enough. They deleted their posts. They went quiet, and from that moment forward, and I need you to really absorb this, they have been protecting each other. Consistently, deliberately, without fail. No more Instagram wars. No more public accusations. No more airing dirty laundry for the entertainment of people who do not care about either one of them. That is not the behavior of two people who hate each other. That is not the behavior of two people who are done. That is the behavior of two people who realized, maybe too late, maybe just in time, that the world does not deserve access to what they built. That some things are sacred even when they are broken. That the vultures circling overhead do not get to feast on 20 years of love just because the internet has an appetite. And that, my friends, is the part of this story that nobody is telling you. Because it does not generate clicks. It does not drive engagement. It does not fit neatly into a 30-second TikTok or a Twitter headline. But it is the truth. And the truth is that Remy Ma and Papoose are protecting each other in ways that only two people who are still deeply, fundamentally, irreversibly connected would do. Now, let us talk about the elephant in the room. Or more accurately, let us talk about the Eazy in the room. Because this chapter of the story is where things go from complicated to absolutely, certifiably, undeniably messy. For those who are not caught up, and no judgment if you are not, because this saga has more plot twists than a Netflix thriller, here is what allegedly happened. Remy Ma was reportedly involved with a battle rapper named Eazy The Block Captain. According to Eazy himself, this relationship went on for approximately 2 years. 2 years of secrecy, 2 years of hiding, 2 years of allegedly carrying on behind the back of one of the most respected men in New York hip-hop. And how did Papoose allegedly find out? Not through a friend, not through a rumor, not through Instagram DMs. According to reports, Papoose allegedly bugged Remy's car, put a recording device in the vehicle, and through that device, he could hear her side of phone conversations. He could hear enough to piece together what was happening. He could hear enough to confirm what he probably already suspected. Now let us just sit with that for a moment. A man, a grown man, a rapper, a public figure, allegedly went to the trouble of placing a recording device in his wife's car. That is not something you do casually. That is not something you do on a whim. That is something you do when the thought of losing someone is so unbearable, so fundamentally threatening to your sense of self, that you will cross lines you never thought you would cross just to know the truth. And then came the confrontation. According to Papoose, in posts that have since been deleted, which is significant in itself, he confronted Eazy at a Chrome 23 rap battle event. Papoose claims he knocked Eazy out, claims Eazy did not throw a single punch back. Eazy disputes this, saying he never touched the ground and that when he turned back around, Papoose allegedly ran. The truth of what happened physically in that moment is honestly secondary to what it reveals emotionally. Because whether Papoose landed a knockout blow, or whether it was more of a scuffle that got broken up, the fact is that this man showed up to an event specifically to confront the person he believed was sleeping with his wife. That is not indifference. That is not moving on. That is not the energy of a man who has made peace with the end of his marriage. That is territorial. That is possessive. That is a man whose entire identity is still wrapped up in being Remy Ma's husband, whether he wants to admit it or not. But here is the detail that absolutely nobody is discussing. And this is the one that, when I first read it, made me set my phone down and just stare at the ceiling for a while. After everything, after the discovery, after the confrontation, after the fight, after all of it came to light, Remy allegedly went back with Eazy for 4 more days. That is what Papoose claimed in a since-deleted post. 4 more days. And that is when Papoose filed for divorce. Not when he found out about the affair. Not when he confronted Eazy. Not when the recordings confirmed what he feared. He filed when she went back. Because that was the line. That was the moment it went from "we can fix this" to "I have to protect what is left of my dignity." The filing was not about ending the marriage. The filing was about surviving the pain. And there is a massive, crucial world of difference between those two things. Now let us talk about what happened next. Because this is where the story takes a turn that reveals just how deep this rabbit hole actually goes. After Remy allegedly ended things with Eazy, and the timeline here is murky because neither party has been fully transparent, Eazy reportedly did not take it well. According to sources, he was scared. Scared that Remy was going back to Papoose. Scared that everything he had, the access, the relationship, the proximity to fame, was slipping through his fingers. And so, allegedly, he made a move that tells you everything about the power dynamics at play. He reportedly reached out to Vlad TV, one of the biggest hip-hop media platforms in the world, and offered $10,000 for a tell-all interview. $10,000 of his own money. To sit down in front of a camera and spill every single detail about his relationship with Remy Ma. Every conversation, every text, every intimate moment, everything. Let that marinate. This was not a man being offered money to talk. This was a man paying money to talk. He was so desperate, so threatened by the possibility of Remy returning to Papoose, that he was willing to invest his own money into weaponizing their relationship. He was essentially holding Remy hostage with information. The message was clear: either you stay with me, or the whole world hears everything. And that is the moment you need to understand. Because even Eazy The Block Captain, the man who was allegedly in the relationship with Remy, could see what the internet refuses to see. He could feel her pulling back toward Papoose. He could sense that the gravitational pull of 20 years was stronger than whatever they had built into. He was fighting against a force he knew he could not beat. And instead of accepting it gracefully, he allegedly tried to burn it all down. Now who else was watching this unfold? Who else had a front row seat to the chaos and was loving every second of it? I will give you 3 guesses, but you are only going to need 1. Nicki Minaj's camp. See, you have to understand the ecosystem. This is not just a marriage falling apart. This is a chess game, and every player on the board has their own agenda. Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj have been at war, publicly, privately, musically, personally, since Shetha dropped and rearranged the entire landscape of female rap. That beef is not just professional. It is deeply, deeply personal. Cardi B and Remy are both considered threats to Nicki's throne. And in the world of hip-hop beefs, the enemy of your enemy is your friend, but the downfall of your enemy, that is a celebration. And then there is Tasha K. For those who do not know, Tasha K is a blogger who already caught a massive lawsuit from Cardi B. She is reportedly aligned with Team Nicki when it comes to the internet blog wars. She has a platform, she has an audience, and she has an alleged agenda. So when Remy's personal life started falling apart publicly, when the affair rumors surfaced, when the financial troubles became public, when the house allegedly had a $900,000 tax lien on it, when Eazy started talking, that was not just gossip. That was ammunition. That was the kind of information that certain people in certain camps could weaponize to destroy Remy's credibility, her image, her brand, and her standing in the culture. And Remy knew it. She is not naive. She has been in this game for over 2 decades. She knows exactly how the machine works. She knows that every piece of dirty laundry, every financial struggle, every personal failing would be amplified, twisted, and weaponized by people who have a vested interest in seeing her fall. Remember when the drama first broke in December 2024? Remember the chaos? Well, guess who allegedly showed up in the middle of the conversation? Nicki Minaj, with her little Chucky emojis, just casually dropping them like breadcrumbs. Like, oh, do not mind me, I am just over here watching Child's Play. She was there, watching, poking, enjoying, and Remy could not say a word. What was she going to say? Her entire life had just been spread across the internet like a buffet. The man she was allegedly seeing was being clowned from coast to coast. She was paralyzed, and Nicki's camp allegedly loved every single second of it. And this right here, is why the posts came down. This is why the silence began. This is why Remy and Papoose both stopped talking. Because the moment they realized that their pain was being consumed as entertainment by their enemies, the walls went back up. Immediately, completely, without hesitation. They stopped fighting each other and started protecting each other. Because at the end of the day, whatever problems Remy and Papoose have with each other, those problems are theirs. They do not belong to Nicki Minaj. They do not belong to Tasha K. They do not belong to the blogs or the podcasts or the reaction channels. And the fact that both of them, independently, without a joint statement, without a publicist orchestrating it, arrived at the same conclusion at the same time tells you everything about the bond that still exists between them. But here's the part that actually made me emotional, and I do not get emotional easily about celebrity situations. Remy Ma recently came out and appeared to defend Nicki Minaj. Yes, you read that right. Defend her. When talking about women in rap, Remy said she now understands why Nicki did not always support other female rappers. She said she gets it now. That is not just a statement. That is a transformation. That is a woman who went through the fire and came out with empathy for someone she once considered her greatest enemy. And honestly, I think that humility, that growth, came directly from the pain of what she went through with Papoose and the public fallout. Sometimes you have to lose everything to gain perspective. And Remy Ma, for all her flaws, appears to be gaining it. Now let us address the Claressa Shields situation. Because I know, people are going to bring her up as proof that Papoose has moved on. And I want to handle this with nuance because Claressa deserves respect. This is not about tearing her down. This is about examining the logic of the situation. Claressa Shields is, by any objective measure, an incredible woman. 2 Olympic gold medals, 19 world championships, undefeated in ways that most athletes can only dream of. She is reportedly making significant money. She is confident, accomplished, and, according to everything we have seen publicly, genuinely loves Papoose. She called him the cheat code to life on the Breakfast Club. She said he knows how to deal with her, he is supportive, he has been at the top. They have reportedly been together since around September 2024, going on close to 2 years. She also said something that caught my attention. She said, "I don't do second place. I never have. I got 2 Olympic gold medals, 19 world championships. Why would I have to be second place to another woman?" And on the surface, that is a powerful statement. It is confident. It is bold. It is everything you would expect from a champion. But here is the question that surfaces when you sit with it for more than 5 seconds. If you are truly in first place, if you have truly won, why do you need to announce it? Champions do not talk about not being in second place. Champions do not need to. The trophy speaks for itself. The fact that Claressa felt the need to make that statement, on national radio, in the context of a conversation about Remy Ma, suggests that somewhere, deep down, she feels the comparison. She feels the shadow. She feels the presence of a woman who is supposedly out of the picture, but whose ghost is somehow still in every room. And then there is the math that does not add up. If Papoose is with a woman who reportedly makes more money than Remy, if her stock is higher, if she is crazy about him, madly in love with him, and will allegedly let him run the relationship the way he wants. If all of that is true, and for the sake of argument, let us say it is, then why in the world would he drag his feet on finalizing the divorce? Think about it logically. If you have moved on, if you are happy, if your new partner is everything your old partner was not, what possible reason would you have for not signing those papers? What possible benefit is there to staying legally married to someone you supposedly no longer love? The answer is not money. Papoose himself has reportedly acknowledged that Claressa has more financial resources. So it is not about securing a better settlement. It is not about strategy. It is not about leverage. So what is it about? I will tell you what I think it is about. And this is commentary, this is analysis, this is my interpretation based on everything I have observed. I think Papoose cannot sign those papers because signing those papers makes it real. As long as the divorce is pending, as long as the process is ongoing, as long as the paperwork is sitting in some lawyer's office collecting dust, Remy Ma is still his wife. Legally, officially, on paper. And for a man who cannot even bring himself to say the words ex-wife in a casual interview, that distinction matters. It matters more than he will ever admit publicly. Now let us pull back another layer because this story has more layers than a wedding cake, and we are barely at the middle tier. The financial and creative entanglement between Remy and Papoose is something that people keep glossing over, and it is arguably the most important piece of this entire puzzle. Whether people want to accept it or not, Papoose reportedly wrote a significant portion of Remy Ma's music. They were married. They were a team. They were in the studio together every day. And in the music industry, it is not uncommon for couples to collaborate in ways that blur the line between individual and joint creation. He was allegedly crafting bars while she was performing, doing press, being the face, being the brand. That is what some married couples in this industry do. But here is where it gets complicated in ways that most people have not thought through. Those songs, those royalties, those streaming checks, those residuals from every hit record, they are reportedly all in her name. She is the performing artist. She is the one on the record. She is the one the checks are made out to. But if he wrote the majority of it, and I am saying allegedly, I am saying reportedly, I am saying according to what has been discussed, then he knows those checks have his creative fingerprints all over them. And she knows it too. And that right there, creates a dynamic that goes beyond love, beyond hate, beyond whether they are together or apart. That is a business relationship forged in artistic collaboration, and protected by the ambiguity of marriage. As long as they are married, the question of who wrote what stays inside the house. The moment they are divorced, the moment the financial records are subpoenaed, the moment the creative contributions are questioned in a legal setting, Pandora's box opens. And neither one of them wants that. Think about what a divorce proceeding could reveal. If Papoose's lawyers argue that he is entitled to a share of Remy's music royalties because he wrote the material, that does not just affect their bank accounts. That affects Remy's entire reputation. That opens the door to the ghostwriting conversation in a way that no comment on the Breakfast Club can contain. That gives ammunition to everyone who has ever questioned her pen. And in the female rap space, where authenticity is policed more aggressively than in almost any other genre, that revelation could be catastrophic. So the divorce stays pending. The papers stay unsigned. The entanglement stays intact. Because the alternative, full transparency, full disclosure, full exposure, is worse for both of them than the uncomfortable limbo they currently occupy. Then you add the reported $900,000 tax lien on their property. You add the alleged $1 million or more in combined debt. You add the gambling situation that Remy accused Papoose of publicly. And suddenly this is not just a love story or a divorce story or even a betrayal story. This is a survival story. This is two people who are allegedly so financially intertwined, so creatively codependent, so legally entangled that separating cleanly is not just difficult. It might be functionally impossible without both of them losing something they cannot afford to lose. And I think, and again, this is my analysis, I think they both know this. I think they have both done the math. I think they have both sat with their lawyers and heard the projections and seen the spreadsheets and realized that the cost of divorce is not just emotional. It is existential. It threatens the very foundations of what they built. And so they stay. Not because they are in love. Not necessarily. But because staying is safer than leaving. Because the devil you know is better than the devil you do not. Because 20 years of building something together does not get torn apart in 12 months without casualties on both sides. Now let me bring all of this home. Because I have given you the evidence. I have given you the patterns. I have given you the context that nobody else is providing. And now I want to give you the truth as I see it. When you have been with someone for 20 years, intimately, creatively, financially, spiritually, legally, you do not just love that person. You become that person. Parts of you live inside them. Parts of them live inside you. Your rhythms sync. Your instincts merge. You finish each other's sentences not because it is cute, but because your brains are literally wired to anticipate each other after 2 decades of constant proximity. Divorce does not undo that. A piece of paper does not undo that. A new relationship does not undo that. Moving on does not undo that. You can build an entirely new life with an entirely new person and still carry the fingerprints of the one who shaped you. That is not weakness. That is not delusion. That is biology. That is psychology. That is the unavoidable consequence of giving 20 years of your life to another human being. And I think that is what we are witnessing with Remy and Papoose. Not a clean break. Not a mutual decision to part ways amicably. Not a civilized uncoupling wrapped in PR statements and coordinated Instagram posts. What we are witnessing is two people who are allegedly still tethered to each other in ways that neither one of them fully understands, let alone controls. He will not call her his ex-wife because in his mind she is not. She has not pushed the divorce through because in her reality, the complications outweigh the closure. They both deleted their posts because the instinct to protect each other overrode the impulse to destroy each other. They both went quiet because 20 years taught them that silence is safer than spectacle. And when Charlemagne gave Papoose the chance to end Remy's career with one word, one confirmation that he wrote her bars, Papoose chose protection over revenge. He chose her legacy over his ego. He chose the bond over the grudge. If that is what done looks like, then love is even more complicated than any of us imagined. Because from where I am standing, from everything I have seen and heard and analyzed, Remy Ma and Papoose are not two people who fell out of love. They are two people who are drowning in it, drowning in the weight of what they built, drowning in the impossibility of untangling 20 years of shared life, drowning in the fear that letting go means losing not just each other, but themselves. Now I want to acknowledge something because I believe in fairness, and I believe in presenting multiple perspectives, even when I have a strong opinion. Not everyone sees this the way I do, and that is okay. There are people who genuinely believe Remy is done. She said it out of her own mouth. She said she wants those papers signed. She said she would pay for everything herself. She said she is not even asking for anything in return. And those are her words. From her mouth. And they deserve to be taken seriously. There are people who look at Papoose and Claressa and see a man who has genuinely moved forward. Claressa said on The Breakfast Club, "She's happy, we're happy, and that's it." And maybe it is that simple. Maybe I am the one overcomplicating this. Maybe a man who cannot say ex-wife is just a man who has not adjusted to new vocabulary yet, not a man who is still in love. But here is what I keep coming back to. If it was really that simple, if it was really just she's happy, we're happy, and that's it, then why did Claressa and Papoose spend 24 minutes of a 50-minute Breakfast Club interview talking about Remy Ma? If the chapter is truly closed, why are they still reading from it? If Papoose has truly moved forward, why does every interview circle back to the woman he left behind? Sometimes the louder you declare something is over, the less over it actually is. And I am not the first person to notice that. So let me lay out the receipts one final time. Everything. Clean. Clear. Undeniable. Receipt number 1. Papoose allegedly refuses to call Remy Ma his ex-wife. In an unscripted moment, off the cuff, no preparation, he defaulted to my past relationship. That is not vocabulary. That is identity. That is a man whose heart has not caught up with the paperwork. Receipt number 2. As of early 2026, they are reportedly still not officially divorced. Over a year after the public explosion. Over a year after the filing. The process is allegedly still ongoing. No final decree. No stamp. No closure. Receipt number 3. They both deleted their inflammatory posts after one public fight and have allegedly protected each other's names ever since. No more wars. No more exposure. Just coordinated, mutual silence. Receipt number 4. Papoose told The Breakfast Club, and I quote, I got nothing bad to say about her, let me make that clear. And when asked if he wrote her raps, he said no comment, rather than expose her. He protected her career. He protected her legacy. He protected her. Receipt number 5. The financial entanglement, royalties, creative credits, the tax lien, the alleged debt, makes a clean split nearly impossible without mutual destruction. They are bound by money as much as memory. Receipt number 6. Eazy The Block Captain allegedly tried to hold Remy hostage with a $10,000 tell-all offer when he feared she was going back to Papoose. Even the man who was in the alleged relationship could see the pull. Even he could feel the gravity of what Remy and Papoose share. Receipt number 7. The Nicki Minaj factor. The rivalry. The surveillance from opposing camps. The weaponization of personal pain for industry warfare. Remy and Papoose both understood that their enemies were feasting on their destruction, and they shut it down. Together. Without coordination. Without a plan. Just instinct. Just 20 years of knowing each other well enough to arrive at the same conclusion at the same time. And here is the deeper lesson in all of this. The one that goes beyond celebrity gossip and speaks to something fundamentally human. Half the people watching this video are currently in situations exactly like this. You are in a relationship you know you should have left. Or you left a relationship you know you should have stayed in. Or you are somewhere in between, suspended in the messy, uncomfortable, impossible middle ground where your heart says one thing and your brain says another and the world is screaming at you to make a decision you are not ready to make. And that is okay. That is human. That is what 20 years looks like when it unravels. It does not happen cleanly. It does not happen quickly. It does not happen the way Instagram makes you think it should. It happens in fumbled words during interviews. It happens in deleted posts at 2 in the morning. It happens in the refusal to say a title that makes the loss feel permanent. It happens in silence. I never tell people to follow their heart. The heart is based on feelings, and feelings change with the weather. I say follow your mind. Follow what you know to be true. And what I know to be true, based on everything I have laid out today, is that the evidence speaks for itself. These two are not done. Not even close. Allegedly. And honestly, I was not even planning to go this deep today. Because there is a whole other chapter of this story that I have not even touched. The financial allegations involving Claressa. What Tasha K and her circle have reportedly been saying about leaked tax documents. And the real reason why certain powerful people in the industry are so invested in making sure this marriage ends permanently. But that is an entire other conversation. And trust me, it is coming. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. Because when part 2 drops, it is going to reshape everything you think you know about this situation. So yeah, that is where we are. A man who cannot say ex-wife. A woman who will not finalize the papers. 2 people who stopped fighting the world to start protecting each other. An entire internet that watched it all happen in real time and still cannot add 2 + 2 and get 4. But what do you think? Do you genuinely believe Remy Ma and Papoose are finished? Or do you see what I see? 2 people who are so deeply woven into each other's existence that separation is not just unlikely, it might be impossible. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And I mean every single one. Especially the ones that disagree with me. Because that is how we grow. That is how we challenge our own assumptions. That is how we get closer to the truth. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are built different. You are the reason I do this. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear this breakdown because I promise you, they have not heard it presented like this anywhere else. Stay wise. Stay sharp. And remember, do not follow feelings. Follow the evidence. Follow the patterns. Follow the truth. Peace and love. Always. Now but for real though, my past relationship. 20 years and this man said my past relationship. I genuinely cannot. I absolutely, positively, unequivocally cannot with this man.